Hey everybody, it's CompHelp. Thank you for watching this video, which is part 15 and also the final part to my 3D Studio Max series for beginners. Alright, so in this awesome tutorial, I'm actually going to go over the very basic lighting, and to do that I actually have a sample project file that I'm going to open up here. So let me go to my desktop. There it is as a test. Alright, so this scene actually doesn't make any sense, but I just kind of slapped it together super quick just to give you guys an idea here, and I actually am going to lift this up a bit because it's bothering me. Okay, so I have some random torus going on here. I have a teapot, which doesn't make sense material-wise, and well, let's go ahead and render this and see what it looks like. This is the default 3ds Max lighting. So let's render this, and as you can see, it's a scanline renderer. And okay, so it doesn't look too bad because you can see I added some spec levels and some bump. Bump probably is way too high, but you could tell I added some stuff there. And okay, all right, so let's go ahead and really quickly add the lighting. Now I'm going to show you a very simple light, very simple light, and we'll see what you think of it after, and maybe this will be something that you'll use in the future. Now, of course, you have your default lights right here, lights, and then you have your target lights, free lights, and you also have your standard and photometric lights and such like that. And if you want, you can go ahead and play with those, such as target spot. If you click and drag, it'll light up that part of the scene, and you can make it like that. Okay, so you can go ahead and play with the lights in that sense. But if you are a super beginner and you need some help to get this light, see how it's like a hard edge and stuff, you go ahead in the modify panel and you play around with all these things, the multipliers, the intensity, attenuation, all this stuff right here. Okay, you can add shadows, take shadows off, change the size of just everything. Trust me, you have a lot of options to play with these lights. And if you want to go over lights, what you want to do is look up another tutorial or something. I'm going to show you a very basic way to light your 3D scenes here, okay? Just for beginner's sake, so you can get your projects up and running. Okay, so what I want to do is go over to the Create tab and simply go over here to the Systems, and we're going to select something called Daylight, and click Yes. Now, for Daylight to work, what you have to do is click and drag, and you'll get this compass looking thing, okay? Northwest, east, south, or northeast, southwest, whatever you want to say, okay? And then you just pull up or down, okay? Pull up and click. Now you can see it's like way super intense over here. Let's go to the modify panel. Let's switch this from sunlight standard to mental ray sun. And also we'll do the skylight to mental ray sky, and click yes when that comes up. It's going to say change a bunch of settings for you. And also we need to change the position to manual. And that would work great, unless you have a specific date, time, and location. If you're doing like architecture work, go to setup and you can set that up, but I'm not going to do that, okay? Alright, so anyways, I'm just going to set it to manual, and now we can freely move around our quote-quote sun. Okay, and you can see how it's affecting the perspective view down there, okay? And I mean, if we go over to the left view, we can actually bring this down some. Right? So, yeah. Also, play with the position of the lighting, because depending on where you put it, just like the real sunlight, I don't know if you've noticed, but depending on the different times of the day, the color of the light changes. I'm sorry, I can't talk apparently. The color of the light changes depending on what time of the day you are in. Okay, so remember, play with the position of the lighting, play with the height of the light. Also, play with the multiplier. It may come out like super bright here. So let's zoom in a bit, and let's take a shot here. So let's take a render. And remember, this is with the scanline renderer. So just take a really quick rendering. Alright, so you see it's super intense. And what we can actually do is bring down the multiplier to whatever you like. Maybe let's cut it in half, 5.5. And okay, I mean, still super intense, but I mean, you just play around with it. I don't know. Okay, so I mean, okay, that's fine. And also, if I render this out, you'll see that the shadows are super dark. Now, how do we get a better look? Well, this is where in the last video I showed you about rendering, and let's go ahead and render this out. Let's go to the render settings, and we'll go down single. You've gone over all the rendering settings before. I'm going to just change the renderer from scanline over to mental ray. Click render. And this should make it look more realistic, give it some better color, more detail, actually make the shadows make sense and stuff like that. And there you go, your scene isn't so newbie anymore. You know, you actually get some things that look real. Of course, these textures may not be the best. Some of the bump maps may be too high. This texture right here on this teapot doesn't make any sense. And, you know, this isn't a complete scene, but it's just for demo purposes. So there you go. That's how you add really simple lighting in your scene. I really hope you've enjoyed this basic tutorial. Please thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if it helped you out in any way, if it helped out your scenes in any way. Also, thank you. I just want to thank you for checking out my series, my 3D Studio Max series. This is the last video of the series, and now I can move on to other things. I've actually had some people wondering, because I do 3D projects on my own, and I've had people ask me how I do some of the stuff I do, and well, this is pretty much what I do here. I just it's a you know, step-by-step process of modeling, texturing, lighting, rendering, and that's really all it is. And if you guys have the passion or want to dive into this stuff more, you're welcome to. Using the techniques I've showed you, you can definitely look up more advanced tutorials online through Google search or YouTube search and totally take off from here and surpass my skills. Alright, so thank you for watching this video. Once again, please thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. All links will be in the description. Yeah, and if you're watching this video for the first time right here, the first video of the series that you've seen, there's 14 other videos in the series. Go ahead and check them out. Alright, so thank you for watching.